The Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy!
Thank you for watching our show. Say hello to my co-host, staff, and studio audience. And of course, the virtuals at home. How you doing? I'm ready to go. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. I've been sitting on a secret. So, well, I can finally talk about it. I think everyone here already knows. Yeah, you know stuff. I've been made into a wax figure. Yeah. I have no idea how this all happened. The world's greatest wax museum is Madame Tussauds. It's here in New York, all right? And they have them all over, but the one in New York, only because this is our city. Okay, they've been working on my wax figure for approximately a long time. A long time. They flew over from London, and they measured me all day. My eyeballs, my ankles. You know, I told them make sure that I'm wearing sneakers. I think I told them wear sneakers and do the lymphedema, like wrinkle and crinkle, wrinkle and crinkle. Look, there's me with the eyeball in my hand. They got my shade of skin correct. Like, I've seen this. It was really funny because when my mom was alive, I sent her a picture of it. And she said, Wendy, that's a really nice outfit. Why'd you send this? I said, Mommy, that's wax. Wow. Yeah. They did all the hair and nose. They measured how long my nail beds are and everything. Yeah. The only thing is I didn't have my hypnotizer ring at that particular time. You know, so I think I'll have on the old ring. Well, I know I'll have on the old ring, because anyway, and guess how I got here? She traveled on a cargo ship from London to New York City. I had no idea how involved they are with this wax thing, because, you know, anyway, it's a whole state-of-the-art thing that they use. We were here all day. Wardrobe was here. You know, I forgot what I'm wearing. That's how long ago it was. You know, wig was here, and oh gosh. Anyway, so next Monday, I'll be revealing myself here on the show. And for our virtual audience at home, you're each receiving a pair of tickets to Madame Tussauds. Yeah. Like, no, everybody loves the Madame Tussauds. Sometimes, though, you just happen to walk past it. You forget that you need to stop.
Yeah.
You know? And my son is coming up for Mother's Day week thing. And so he'll be here on Monday. Yep.
Perfect.
And then afterwards, we're gonna go over there and check me out.
Yeah. Perfect.
So anyway, by the way, I've got this really, really important appointment today, and I'm hoping that this is really gonna work. Lymphedema is not something that you cure, it's something that you manage. It's a disease, it's something that you manage, but apparently it's really a big deal over in France, where they actually use government funding to make sure that people are properly taught. Over here in America, it's not a big deal. Oh, they say about 10,000 people have been diagnosed with it, but I see a lot of people walking around with it, and I see it up here, wherever. But there's a specialist that I'm going to, and I was guided to this person. She lived in France and learned this particular massage, specifically for lymphedema sufferers, specifically for. She doesn't use oil, she doesn't use lotion, she doesn't want any of that hocus pocus. She uses her raw hands. So she's gonna be rubbing up on these feet. All right, so Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have been hanging out. According to Page 6, Ben has been spotted multiple times at her home. Well, he gets picked up in her white truck and dropped back off to his house in her white truck. So now that we know this, why don't you just drive yourself or something? I do suspect that they're having the sex. Old familiar hands, pawing all over, you know? I do suspect that. I do suspect that they probably watch a lot of TV. I don't want the kids to have play dates though. You know, he's got the kids with Jennifer Garner and then she's got her twins. I don't want that part of it. Do I think that he's a keeper for Lopez? No. No, that's Mark Anthony. He'll be back. He'll be back around. Hey, Mark, there's another man pawing on your woman. Might as well get it started now, you know what I mean? Break that up. So Ben and Jen Garner, his ex-wife, but they have a son who happens to be a swimmer. And so there's them standing outside. I had no idea that, look, does she have a little fatty? Okay. And like chunkier legs and the whole, okay. And look at him looking at her while they're both probably saying, can you please let us in? Please let us in. So while they're out there, right, the paparazzi spots them and he was asked, Ben was asked, are you back with Jennifer Lopez? You gotta listen very closely, take a look.
Hey Ben, are the rumors about J-Lo true? Is that a yes?
He did splash in the street.
I get it.
Did he take the cup with him or did he litter?
No, it looks like he just splashed it out and took it with him and got in the car, yeah.
I find there's no reason for them to re-engage with each other though. I think that, you know, the heart wants what the heart wants and Jen, just be careful with him. And he's gonna go back to Jennifer Garner, by the way, because that's the mother of his children. And she's the one who's the stable one. You know what I mean? She might not be as glamorous as Lopez, but he gets tired of that quick, you know? Doesn't it seem like he gets tired of that quick?
Yeah, He jumps from girl to girl.
Okay, something terrible has happened here in New York. First of all, Thursday afternoon, I called up Peter Luger's to make a reservation for one. You know, I like to go out. I wanted a nice meal. I had already been out earlier in the day and I just called. I didn't want to bring, you know, who I was out with. I wanted to go by myself. I wanted to enjoy the dining room, stare at the men, eat cream spinach and good steak and stuff. So I was told that there were no tables available. This is Thursday afternoon. I said, it's a table for one. Like I'm dressing the part and I'm spending. So she put me on hold and then a man came to the phone and said, sorry, Miss Hunter, there's no table available at all. Well, thank goodness, because on Thursday, the same day that I wanted to go, Dr. Drew Pinsky was there, along with his wife and his daughter and the daughter's boyfriend. And they got stuck in the middle of a shootout at Peter Luger's. I don't know what I would do. I can barely walk, much less run.
Yes, terrifying.
But that's why cash is king, you see? You know, slip somebody some money, quick, take me out to the sidewalk. I gotta get out of here.
Yep.
Apparently there was a table of over 10 people outside dining. Well, see, I wouldn't have been there. I don't like to eat outside. But they were outside dining and there was a ruckus that happened at this table. And a man got up and pulled his gun and started shooting. didn't hit anybody at the table, but hit 2 separate women. Men? Mm-hmm. He shot men?
Yep.
And the men had nothing to do with this.
Correct.
So Mrs. Pinsky does not know what gunfire sounds like, so she wasn't thinking about it. But Drew does know what gunfire sounds like, you know, and he's really good. He's a crisis doctor, you know. He heard commotion and he went to check, and he was told, get down. No, not sit down, get down. Drew and about 40 other diners huddled in a back room and barricaded themselves in with a table. This is all too much.
Yeah, too much. Too much. Wow.
Scary.
So he spoke out once it was safe, and here's what Dr. Drew has to say. Go ahead.
We're at a steakhouse in Brooklyn, and what you see out there is ambulances and police cars galore. And this is all because we all dove under tables in response to gunshots. I don't know if you can see what's going on. I can't figure it out. But multiple ambulances, lots of cops.
Well, it didn't frighten Drew. He went back to eating his dinner. Okay. I'm not wasting this good old food. Can you imagine being barricaded with 40-something people in a small room and using the table as a shield for the bullets because you don't know what's going to happen next? Oh, God. Yeah. So did you guys watch part 2 of the Housewives of Atlanta reunion last night? You watched?
Huh? Tepid.
Very tepid. I feel like I was seeing the same thing. So I ended up watching a movie on Lifetime Movie Network, which is the same thing, except I like it. I got caught up in the moment. Well, my name was mentioned. Now, it's the same footage, but take a look.
I want us to make a decision that we're going to be married on 10-10-20 regardless of the situation.
They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I've had some doubts.
Wendy Williams, she kind of went in on her and her choice to have such a large wedding.
When you throw a huge wedding in the middle of a pandemic, I think that she's just got to live with what people will have to say about it.
It's true. And then Andy read some comments in their comment section, whatever, and people were agreeing with me. But nobody ended up getting sick at the wedding. The wedding is now over. She and Mike are very, very happy, and I'm happy that she was able to pull that off. Now, Cynthia still does not have a post-nuptial agreement. And Candy is trying to tell her, you've got to get that done. I mean, you know, just cause. Oh, and Marlo, what was going on? Okay, but Marlo Hampton. It's a whole lot of confidence. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so part 3 airs next Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. So now, you know, Candy and Wanya Morris from Boyz II Men are at war. Well, Candy went on Eddie Levert's from the OJ's Instagram live show. And they were talking about songwriting for Boyz II Men. Well, take a look.
Yeah, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boyz II Men. I don't think I ever been disrespected like that before in the studio in my life. It was crazy, really. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that was a long time ago. You know, clearly, you know, we've moved past that or whatever.
Oh, no, we aren't. Because Wanya responded on his own Instagram live show. Take a look.
And I didn't know that we were the worst to work with, but I mean,
Damn.
after TLC and Boys to Men and a couple of other people, she hasn't worked since, right? Like music-wise, she's just been doing like reunions with Escape. I mean, she's doing TV, which is awesome, but I haven't heard a song that I was like, yo, go Candy, like I did when she was doing, the records for like TLC and those other like it's been a dormant season.
That was a sophisticated read. Oh, Wanye. Why? Well, if we follow the money trail, then maybe we'll figure out what exactly was going on. We need to have Candy on our show. Yeah. Candy needs to come back. Yeah. I like her. I always tell you
Candy.
that. Yeah, I really do. Everything about her, you know what I mean? The dungeon, there's just something about that Candy. Oh, by the way, Candy's group, Escape, is battling SWV on Saturday night on Versus. Honey, that is not a battle. SWV all day. Sus?
SWV's catalog. I had to say something. SWV's catalog is crazy.
Yeah.
Escape is great. Jermaine Dupri, my brother, I love you, but SWV's catalog is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
If you care, here's the update with Tristan and Khloe. Well, you know the girl Sydney Chase. Well, she leaked DMs. Okay. She says that they're allegedly from Khloe. And what Khloe said to her is, we blurred out everything else except for these two. I would appreciate if our conversation can remain confidential. Well, she honored her word. She didn't tell us what they were talking about, just that they were in touch. I totally believe this. I don't believe this is a lie. It seems true. Khloe and Tristan, neither one of them have publicly denied anything regarding this girl. All Tristan was able to do is, okay, he sent his team to give her a cease and desist letter. And also, he also was in contact with the podcast that had the original interview with him and asked them to take it down. Well, it's too late. We've already seen it. The rumor is that Sydney and her friends are supposed to be getting some sort of reality. You'll be on assignment.
I know. Glad to. I can't wait to see more of what she has to say.
But if she has to cease and desist, that won't be a part of it.
I'm sure she'll find a way.
Khloe, you can't marry him. You can't marry him. I understand that you want your baby, true, right? True, to have the same father. I get that. You know, if you have, like, I get it. You know, you want the kids to all be related and stuff, but you can't marry him. And if you're gonna go through IVF or however you get pregnant with him, anything but the old in and out. Yeah. Tell him, take this nudie magazine, go in the other room, and deposit right here. Okay, deposit. She's probably feeling pressure from the family too, though, in regards to having the second child, because none of them have separate babies' fathers, right?
That all their kids have the same father.
Yeah.
Courtney, Kim, etc.
Well, Black China, that's good business for you. You know, you just get over to Rob's and make them something to eat. Before you know it, you're pregnant again. I've always liked Kathie Lee Gifford. I don't recall whether I've ever met her in my life, but I've always liked her. Well, she's 67 years old. Though she's been 67 for at least 5 years. Okay. It's okay, Kathie Lee, it's okay. You look great. And she's got a new man. Now, Do you remember? I think when we talked about her last, she was living here in New York, where she was living with the now dearly departed Frank. You know, they were married for about 30 years. They've got children and the whole bit. But the kids are all grown. Frank has passed on, and she wants love in her life. And she wasn't scared to chase it down. So she left New York for Nashville. She said, I can't find anybody in New York, and I'm tired of looking. So she goes to Nashville, and I don't know what the man looks like. I don't know anything about him other than what she says. Can we play her saying? Okay.
I'm in a really special relationship with somebody that is nice and fun and healthy, and so that's good. Not ready
like
to
a
talk about
boyfriend,
it.
Kat? Like a man friend?
Do tell. Say more.
You're breaking some news here.
Come on.
No, you know what? It's just happy, and I don't want to mess it up, and I probably already have by just even mentioning it. But you know, it's just to be in a place where you feel like every aspect of your life is good. You know, that nothing's missing, and that's a beautiful place to be. I'm just so grateful.
Good for her. Clap a little louder, everybody. We've got more great show for you.